In this tutorial, we will be making star coral with plasticine. Star coral, also known as Favetus abdita, is a species of stony coral in the Marulinidae family. Its colors are usually unique range of reddish browns, grays, and greens, and the oral discs are usually green. These species are usually found in the shallow, warm waters. Here is what this coral looks like both out of the water, non-living, and living within the water. Okay, now it's time to learn how to make this star coral using plasticine clay. For this sculpted star coral, we will be working with two different colors of clay. You may want to look up different kinds of star coral to see how different species under this category look visually for inspiration. For this project, all you're going to need is, again, your trusty bamboo skewer. I also have a tool like this because I'm going to show you two different ways to actually create those that look. And so this tool helps kind of gouge out some of the clay. And then, of course, I'm going to roll it out for one part of it. So I'm going to use a glue stick and then my two colors. So I need a color that's going to be on the inside. In this case, I use blue, and the purple is on the outside. For this project, I'm thinking about also my sculpture and where I'm going to place it, because I'm going to put this in my larger sculpture here. And to do that, I've decided that I want to use it in reversed. So this is actually going to be the piece of clay color that's going to go on top, and the under one is going to be the purple. And there's a reason why I've done that and made sure that I have more of this one and less of this one. I don't want a large piece either. I want it to fit on the edge of my sculpture, and so I'm going to kind of think about it in a smaller sense. So I'm going to just do a small one. This one I did was a little bit larger. It almost borderlined on my on taller, higher level sculpting. But I wanted to show you that you can do it any size. Okay, and so I'm going to just say that this is the bottom base. I'm just going to make a sort of a lower sort of piece. I'm also going to just show you, my goal is to take this and place it maybe on this lower ridge of here, kind of on the edge. Okay, once I figured that out, I'm going to just put it aside, and I'm going to get my other piece of clay ready now. Roll it out so that we have a nice piece, because this piece is going to be draped over top of the shape. When I pull this off really carefully, and I don't want to pull too quickly because it might stick, so don't rush any of the processes here, because taking your time will always pay off in the long run. It's just a nice thin sheet. It's almost like when you're working with cake and you put on like fondant and you have to drape it over the top of the cake. This is the same kind of method. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm draping it around, so I want to kind of place it into the center. Now there's two things you can do. This is the first method, so I'm going to show you the first method, where all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shape right here and I'm going to gouge into it and remove a section of clay out completely. So I'm doing that until I see a little bit of purple, pulling it out, and then this piece here gets discarded off to the side. I can take that tool and I can go in there and create different textures around the surface, all in the different places like that. And I would just, depending on what kind of texture I want all the way around, I would plan it over the whole surface. And now for method number 2. A pre-planned layer that covers over your piece, done before even placing it over top. I'm going to use pink as my undercolor. I just had this piece here. My only worry is that when you push really hard, and because of this type of sculpting piece, I'm going to use this to sort of sift like a spatula underneath my fondant. Sorry, my plasticine. It's like I'm in a baking class now. The funniest thing is I do not bake. I would rather sculpt. Before I now overlay this, I'm going to try a different method, and this method is where I hold it in my hand and I use my bamboo skewer, and this is going to seem a little bit weird, but I'm actually just going to poke in and start to define different coral openings. I can either, in this case, keep them all the same and make them look very similar, or I can make them irregular, small, large, some a little bit more narrow, some more circular. Now this is a different strategy. I like it because you're not going to have to pull away extra clay and smear it. You might have to do a few edits. And this method is actually my method that I use for creating fan corals. You can see on the very top I have a fan coral that was done by this method. That might be, I have a little fan coral over here, hard to see, with small little edge work, whatever coral organism that you're working on. So, but I'm using this in a different capacity today because I wanted covering the interior part. And then with my piece, I'm going to float that right on top, pressing down. Because I know this is my top, I'm going to hide that part. So those are two different methods, two different ways of creating that same look. And I might come in and then with my bamboo skewer and just working it out nice and neat, I might just clean up edges. And I love the irregular shapes. I'm going to put a little bit more effort into this and detail all the way around with my edge of the bamboo skewer. I'm just going to make little indents like stars as if it's going around. If you want, you can change the type of patterning or texturing. It's got a really cool color coming through. Now where to place it on my sculpture? I don't have a lot of pink on this particular sculpture. I have more creams and purples and blues and greens. So I'm probably not going to put it on this particular sculpture because I want it to work. I had this one already, so I think that's good. I've started with that one. So for fun, I'm actually just going to add to my exemplar here, maybe place it, and now I've got a really nice balance coming from this side to this side, showing that sculptured piece.
I think that looks pretty good to me. Well, that concludes our tutorial on how to make star corals. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my other coral tutorials in all 3 levels of colony growth to help with your own sculptures. Thanks for watching.